Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your girl Key. Today we talking about patterns of human behavior and how they create self-sabotaging moments. So, y'all already know. Let's jump in. Patterns are all around us. Finding and understanding patterns gives us great power. With patterns, we can learn to predict the future, discover new things, and better understand us and the world around us. There's symmetry to it. We often don't realize the significance of patterns. In school, we're taught subjects. Some subjects that I felt were important and conducive to our daily lives were not taught in all schools coming up, such as us. In order for us to understand who we are as individuals, in order to apply the subjects taught, what we had to become accustomed to was how to fit in. Why? Fit into what? The ways of this materialistic world? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to want and have nice things. It's the lack of how to get it in a way that's sustainable for me. How it has been conditioned for us to get it is all screwed up. The cutthroat mentality is straight up BS. Yes, we are led to believe that a job is what we need in order to have the necessities we want. But tell me how. Last time I checked, most of us live paycheck to paycheck. How is that living? That's called settling. This is just my experience, but before I left my job, I knew it wasn't enough. While in my career, I have gotten the necessary tools that I needed to continue on my life purpose. We often don't really pay attention to why we are at these jobs. As I mentioned in an earlier video, everything we go through in life is always to benefit us in the long run, even when we don't think so. If we could see the fields that we were in at those times, what about those jobs were similar? For example, were you in a field related to dealing with people or a field dealing with animals? Whatever it was, what was your purpose behind why you chose that job? Most of the time, we are not even sure why we took the job that we knew damn well we wouldn't want to do. If you were at a job that you like, what was it that you enjoyed the most about it? Well, whatever it was or is, can you see yourself doing it on your own and believing you can accomplish anything you set your mind to for you? Absolutely you can. You did it for someone else, so why not? Your talents play a major role in that. We weren't born with it just for it to be a hobby. For example, me, I know I love to decorate cakes. Do I like the baking portion of it? Hell no. I like the artistic aspect of it. Do I enjoy helping people? Absolutely. Some will say, well, why are you doing this instead of that? Well, like to hear it? Here it goes. It's the people. Most would agree with me on this. In any line of work you do, it doesn't change the fact that it's one of my talents. It doesn't change the fact that when I'm prepared to continue, I will make it happen. What I've grown to understand is that you must not only be physically able, but mentally and emotionally as well. Otherwise, you will allow people to affect you. Therefore, you must make your own decisions for you, not because someone else wants it for you. Not saying every person doesn't believe you can do it and have genuine motives. It's about you, though. You're not going to go the full distance if you're not ready. Same applies to a lot of things in life. Again, who is it we are trying to fit in for? It's about us living a life that we can enjoy with true happiness for ourselves before we can give to another. Another lesson that I had to learn. The force-like mentality that the world has, whether subconsciously or consciously, is a major downer for us as individuals. This is just my opinion, and I know for me, I was conditioned to believe that I can't survive underwater. Will somebody please enlighten me if that is true? Because I was led to believe this. If I was in water while becoming developed and can be birthed in water, how can I not survive in water? The reason why you can see a baby thrown in some water and lo and behold, that child is able to float and survive. That's called survival mode instinct, to get them out of that nature of distress. Now, there may be times where there could be an issue which may prevent another situation pertaining to it. It's an instinct that we were designed to have, all of us. So you tell me, how is it that we can't believe in ourselves when in a nature of distress? That's not a negative thing. That's a positive, depending on the circumstances. We get so caught up with the things around us and let that sidetrack us off our path that we self-sabotage quite a few things in our lives. I have done this countless of times up until this very moment. I can understand the time frame it takes just to absorb and apply this. Now I see why I kept going around in circles with people, not realizing that I was self-sabotaging things as well. I had to go through many, many heated moments because of this. We are taught all about the patterns of subjects in school, but out here as adults, lost and confused as to how to fit into a world of subjects. Where was the subject of self? The walls are built way too high, and the ignoring of reality of it is trash, which is why our lessons, storms, are our lessons. It's all to serve purpose to bring us back down to earth. Otherwise, we wouldn't see things for what they are, reality. It's all about being grounded. Reasons why people come into our lives are always there for a reason, which is to teach us in good and bad situations. The fact of the matter is the truth hurts. Why? Because no one talks about it. No one wants to look at themselves as a defense mechanism for the hurt, whether it be constructive or just pure criticism. How are we delivering it? What's the approach? There were a few things about myself that I wasn't aware of doing. Even though it was genuinely coming from a loving place, my delivery and approach were screwed up due to hurt. When we look at things that we are blaming others for, understand you may be very well doing the same thing. So when you look at growth as a continuous cycle instead of a generational cycle, you can get a clearer image as to your reality of the damage you can cause. Meanwhile, you can't be so hard on yourself for not getting it right the first time. Trust the process. We're always learning and trying to grow. No matter the knowledge you have, it'll never work out if the lesson is not learned and applied. One key factor about health, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, it's all a state of being free. So to wrap this up, just because you may have points you're trying to get across doesn't always mean they're right or make sense. Again, patterns, patterns, patterns. It's okay to take a step back and assess the situation. If you can accept and apply without forcing patterns on yourself and others, you got it. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed. I did act up. I'm human just like the next. It goes both ways. There is an art to practicing what you preach. You just have to check yourself at times, or someone else will. Patterns lead to consequences, whether good or bad. But we're never alone. It's all for us. It's time to focus on things that make us better individuals in order to gain happiness, joy, and a peace of mind. When we do things coming from a place of love instead of hurt, you will be surprised at the things you learn about yourself and others. So, y'all already know, love you, keep going, and keep growing. Love y'all.